This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you might have missed this morning, and we also take a look at the political pieces we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 27th of March, 2019. I'm DM.
I am 2M.
And I am Miss K, your host. Again, in case you missed it, this is Winning Headlines. Let's take a look at today's headlines. The Standard, UHURU Peace Walk. Daily Nation, Raila eyeing DP job, RUTO allies now cry.
Yes.
And the Star, CS Munya refused to sign 4 billion shillings for dams. Let's start with the Standard, UHURU Peace Walk.
First of all, I must say that journalists this morning were very naive. You know why? Because they misinterpreted that walk to Harambee Annex to mean that everything that happened before that has perished. It was all a lie. We start afresh. We are born again. Doesn't happen like that. These people are political animals.
Yes.
And everything is still happening undercurrent. My view.
I agree with you. UHURU met Ruto for how long?
40 minutes?
40 minutes.
40 minutes. And Ruto was not alone. He was with Aisha Jumwa, Eden Duale, this Washiali guy. There were 4 of them. Just 1 hour. UHURU then met Ruto for 4 hours.
Not
No, I mean, not Ruto.
James Orengo.
A couple of weeks away or back.
Ago.
He met James Orengo for 4 hours. Right? I mean, who knows? Maybe UHURU was bringing some mementos from Namibia. Like,
I think the other misrepresentation, sorry, Ms. Gay,
It's okay.
is that this was all so sudden and it was a big surprise. Nothing. The head of state doesn't walk across the street and there is no recce team that has gone ahead or there is no preparations. These people did not go. They had lunch, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
They didn't eat kenchik. There was a state lunch prepared for them there. There was no surprises.
But here's the thing I have to say.
Premeditated.
Yes, I agree it was premeditated, but here's the thing I have to say. The head of state did something that he's only done once before. He walked across to Annex.
Yes.
Himself.
Yes.
So he did not, it was not a summoning.
Yes.
Orengo was summoned to State House.
Yeah.
He could have waited outside. We don't know how long he waited
The
outside
waiting
for.
bay.
Or he could have come twice before, then on the 3rd day of his coming, that
thought,
is when the
"Kuja
doors
kesho,
opened
kuja
and the
kesho."
Lord saw him for 4 hours, when he had time to bequeath on him for all the waiting that he'd done. But here, I, of my own volition, carve out 40
the
minutes
head of
of my
state.
important time to walk to you. That, for me, outweighs 4 hours of loose talk and a monologue.
you know, the Standard forgets who is UHURU. UHURU is head of government. He was visiting...
And head of state.
And head of state. He was visiting a government building. I'm sure he can visit Jogo House. He can go to a chief's house to have lunch.
The same way when he visited DP. Remember when he went to DP's residence in
Karen?
Karen? So
Yes.
he was also visiting
A government facility.
a state installation.
Yeah, so big deal. Big deal.
Not
You know what?
big deal.
In this whole story, I have more questions than answers.
Okay,
Right,
ask
right.
your question.
Question number 1. Can Orengo be Murathe's lawyer and they're not executing a scheme? Are we
I don't think so.
saying that all this
is
is just spontaneous order and there's no planning?
There's always planning. No one can come out and make a statement unless they are sure and willing to back it.
Yeah, I think we're in a post-truth era
Yes.
where the truth is just laid bare before us, but we are in denial.
But I also have a hunch. UHURU did not go just to have lunch because he was hungry. He knows the parliamentary group MPs of Jubilee want to meet him. And therefore, he needed to buffer them. He needed to tell them to bugger off.
That
And-
our agreement
yeah.
at the
That was
top
the
is
Stars
fine.
headline
And
yesterday.
if he needs to tell them to bugger off, the person he will use to do that is William Ruto.
So what do we say about this headline? Is
It's
it,
made us
as
talk
we
a lot.
ask our audience, is it topical or is it speculative? Is it repetitive or is it groundbreaking? And finally, is it thoughtful or lazy?
The issue I have with this headline is that it's very unclear. It wouldn't make me pick up the newspaper. Uhuru Peace Walk, he could have gone for like a freedom from hunger walk. It's not telling me anything.
So toss the headline.
It is not a peace walk.
Speaking of a post-truth era and the truth playing out in front of our eyes, but we're refusing to see it for what it actually is. Raila eyeing DP job, RUTO allies now cry. Is it true? Does he want the job?
It's a job hunt.
Guys, I told you guys yesterday, the Building Bridges Initiative had two briefs. The first one is contractual. The second one is non-contractual. But I also want to sort of tweak my submission from yesterday.
Don't go so far. We don't want to see you as a wishy-washy person who keeps jumping from one opinion to the next as the wind blows.
As much as I say there's someone huge behind James Orengo, I also want to say this. An impeachment motion against William Ruto is a decoy.
What is it? If it's a smokescreen,
it's a smokescreen.
What are we being blinded from?
And the reason why I say it's a smokescreen, Raila Odinga knows very well he cannot impeach William Ruto in Parliament. He does not have the numbers.
Okay.
Pure numbers, right? There is something else which I do not know of, that the two, Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, are probably, and I'm choosing my words very carefully, probably planning for.
It's highly speculative, but I don't know. DM, yesterday you have the opinion that Orengo will go through it, that he is going to do it. Are you still holding that opinion now?
I still hold that opinion, and the jury is still out on whether it will be successful or not, because you laid out the requirements for us, and we saw that it is an uphill task. So
definitely,
whether it's going to succeed or not is a different story altogether. But I still think that Orengo is going to go through with this.
I don't know. I'm starting to think that we are being treated to drama of the highest order. This is dramatics. This is how Raila has typically played out his politics, and I don't think this motion is going to go anywhere. Even if it's introduced, it's going to fail. It's just dramatics, and that's what we're being treated to. Yeah. I don't know if we're being treated to dramatics because it's a smokescreen and there's something else playing in the background, or it could be drama for drama's sake, which is much worse in my opinion.
You know, I saw Jubilee MPs yesterday saying, oh, they're doing this because Raila Odinga wants deputy president. I almost said nonsense. But I can't agree. You know, here's the thing, by the way, being out in the political cold is not a good place to be.
Yes.
Any job, I'll take it.
Raila was in the political cold.
No,
even now he has no official position in the government of Kenya.
Please tell me,
and he still looks like the second in command.
I wouldn't say that he's in the political cold because he's been on our lips for how many years now?
Oh, so many.
Absolutely.
So he's very present and he is out there. But then he cannot reject a tangible position in government. That's what his dreams are made of.
In fact, what is the point of going through the whole process of impeaching him if you're not eyeing the job? Because if you become deputy president, then you become a part of the executive. And guess what? De facto president.
The only reason I agree with that is because the president cannot sack the deputy president. And therefore, Raila can wreck government from within. But I'm sure Uhuru knows this as well, and I don't think he would allow Raila to be his deputy. There is something bigger Raila is going for. Getting to DP position as Raila Odinga today in context, impossible.
Totally.
Putting in a motion, not impossible.
Even
motion failing,
they can put as many motions as they want, but I can tell you, he does not have the numbers. That thing will be shut down.
So what do we say about this headline? Using our three-part criteria. Is it repetitive? Is it topical? Is it speculative? Is it groundbreaking? Is it thoughtful? Or is it lazy?
It is topical. It is very topical. It is groundbreaking. You want to know about this job hunt?
This job hunt that's happening before our eyes in this post-truth era.
It is thoughtful. It is the print equivalent to clickbait.
I definitely buy it.
There I agree with you. It is clickbait. Yes.
So for that reason, can we make... Okay, wait. I'm being preemptive. My thoughts, my hopes, my wishes, before we even discussed it. CS Munya refuses to sign 4 billion for dams. How did we not know till today that he was the whistleblower?
You see, the Star and other newspapers, other outlets, have had versions of a whistleblower. The first one was that there was a letter from Italy, written by an anonymous person to Uhuru Kenyatta, talking about this. Now, the Star has said that Munya is
the whistleblower.
The whistleblower.
Even though he was in that ministry for all of 6 months.
And let me tell you this.
And before you even say that, my beloved Senator Aaron Cheriot has told us in the Star today that the reason why Munya whistleblew is because Henry Rotich refused to give him 500 million
for his county.
For his county, and so he's on the path of vengeance, and that is why he whistleblew.
Yeah.
And then thereafter, they tell us that what? He was moved to another ministry.
Oh yes, high-ranking officials within the Jubilee government were pushing him, forcing him to sign for this 4 billion. And he held his ground as a lawyer who knows the requirements of procurement.
A saintly lawyer.
Saintly lawyer.
I have read Rotich's statement, the one he spoke about Aurora and Kimore dams. And he said the first amount of money that was paid for a dam was in December 22nd, 2017.
Okay.
And that...
What's the point of this date with relation to...
That date was before Munya was sworn in as minister for East African Community and Regional Development.
Which is where the dams fall under?
That's
where
the
projects fall under.
That's where the projects fall under.
So are you trying to tell me that there's absolutely no way he could have been privy to that payment?
My point is, this is politics. I think CS Munya has some beef with William Ruto.
Okay.
And I think the person
give me context
that
for that,
CS Munya, the context of this is of that is this. Before 2017 election, I think Governor Munya was Munya was standing for governor in Meru.
Meru, yes, that is true.
And there is some belief that the person who leaked out
Munya,
Peter Munya,
I
don't say he because it could come from me.
That's so true.
There is some belief that the person who rigged out Governor Munya was William Ruto.
So
and therefore,
he's on the path of vengeance.
He's on the path of vengeance. All this has, for me, this is politics. It's all politics.
Agree. It is politics.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes we put a lot of credence where it's not due. What if, and I'm just throwing this out there, what if this is part of Gema succession? Yes. Uhuru Kenyatta has been the leader of the Gema nation for a very long time. Uhuru Kenyatta's term is coming to an end. Where I sit here today, I don't know what is going to happen to the Gema nation. There is no plan for succession within the Gema nation, and there's no way you're going to let such a big voting bloc, such a big economically providing member of this country just remain without any access to power. What if the name of CS Munya has, he's positioning himself as a placeholder for the Gema nation, but against Kiunjuri? What if you're watching before our eyes?
The succession plot.
Not a plot against Ruto, but succession politics within Gema, and they're playing out again before our eyes, and here we are thinking that it's all about Ruto. Yeah,
so this is how it starts, that he angles for the position by being a good prefect that tells on the deputy president.
I don't know what game he's playing at, but I can assure you that there's another game at play. There's another game at play.
I want to come slightly lower, other than just succession. Succession, fantastic. I like the hypothesis, but I think it's a money game.
Oh my gosh! Now you're adding in a whole other layer.
It's money. 500 million.
No, that one that is a slighted game. If you're saying that, like that, you say you're not giving me 500 million for Meru,
and yet you're spending 65 billion.
No, that's low. I say it's either he's going for Ruto because Ruto, he's a project of persons in government who are anti-Ruto, and he's their mouthpiece at the moment, or and this could be diabolical. It's Gema succession as we don't know it. I don't know, but. Here we have it. Politics. Both of these headlines are lifting our veil of ignorance, and I think that is the point of the media. So we have to pick one between the two of them to be our winning headline. Yeah,
I'll go with the Star. This one is telling us what other people said in the nation.
Please note that all the fun things we said about the Star we implied. Nothing in this headline tells us those lovely things we just said. I go with the Nation.
For that reason, I go with the Nation too.
So toss the Star. Our winning headline today is the Daily Nation. On to our next segment, the political opinions that we call cartoons in this country. Just like the headlines, we have a three-part criteria that we use to break them down for you. We ask ourselves, is the cartoon humorous, or is it dry? Is it satirical, or is it pessimistic? And finally, is it effective, or just plain lazy?
Oh man, who is this?
I see you're with the
Nation.
Manana, your friend.
It's sad. What a sad baby.
And there's our collective opinion. It's gone. Where do we go next? Standard.
Munene, you're doing comic strips, not cartoons.
You just like to mention that. I kind of like this one. I actually found it humorous when I saw it.
So we have Raila. We can tell who all these people are because Gado has used the classic symbols, their garments.
Yes.
We know it is. We don't have to ask if it's Ruto because he has a turban.
And his shirt is folded, the arms are folded.
Yes, and Uhuru has a bejeweled crown on his head.
It's a prince.
And he doesn't have, he's not wearing a watch, he's wearing a timepiece, a chronometer.
So large.
And then on the other side is Raila in his classic orange print shirt, and he has on his hand a puppet who is in the person of Orengo, and Raila is a ventriloquist because Orengo's words are actually his. So he's saying, yes, we are going to impeach you. Hold on. There's some complication here.
And the complication here, I think, was by that lazy headline, a peace walk, because there's a pantsuit that they're wearing, President and Ruto are sharing, and it's written corruption. But
yeah, they're joined at the
hip.
They're joined at the hip. Yeah, no, this follows by what I mentioned before as a very naive misrepresentation of events.
Yeah.
Gado, cancelled out everything that happened prior to today's headlines. And now Raila and Uhuru are joined at the hip. And so Raila and Orengo have changed strategy because they have made this observation.
Actually, they're confused.
Which is false.
Exclamation, question mark, exclamation,
Having
question.
said that, this cartoon is still hilarious to me.
I think it's humorous, but I also think it's an apt representation of what everyone thinks. Not everyone is thinking that the truth may just still be continuing. And I think I like it. It's effective.
I love the symbolism that,
But what are they saying that has not been heard? They have always said Uhuru and Ruto are a pair, and if one is corrupt, both are corrupt. That part one. Part two, they are saying Raila is a puppeteer, and Orengo is Raila's mouthpiece. What don't you know about that?
You can say something old, but in a new, refreshing way.
So this
and that is
really,
what we would.
No, what I would say,
give him kudos.
Yes, it is, because if you remember, all cartoons up until yesterday showed Jubilee as a house divided.
And so?
Suddenly, we are back to them being conjoined twins, joined at the hip, with all their issues on each other. The saintly prince is now put together with the salacious and slandering.
They don't like you, but
sing. Okay, let's put that in the parking bay. I suppose because we haven't looked at what the star has.
Let's look at your favorite boy. Let's see.
Ndula. Right?
Half the cartoon is
even
in pitch
smiling.
blackness.
Before we even look at it, you're predisposed to just see it as awesome.
It speaks to me because I think sometimes as Africans, we can be a little bit. Yeah, we can be because...
Please. Yeah, and as an African, I refuse that notion. I'm not stupid.
Ndula is talking about, and I think what he's talking about is the cyclone Idai thing in Mozambique, Malawi, and Zimbabwe. And the fact that before, they did not just know, they had to know that a cyclone was coming. And therefore,
the AU had to know that a cyclone was coming.
Not the AU. I'm saying those particular countries.
The response that it will have.
I'm not saying the AU. Those countries must have known. It's the same thing as us here. We know there is hunger coming. We could
but your cartoonist cousin here is not talking about those particular countries. He's talking about the AU. He wrote A and U.
But in the context
to cyclone
of things, we have the same problem in this country. We rely on the rains in those areas up there in the north, right?
This
to irrigate ourselves.
Speech that you have today, I feel like it's not based.
For how long will Africans learn that you're waiting for the rain, and then we have to do relief food?
Can you actually say something about the cartoon?
This
is in the context of things, guys.
Okay,
see beyond this cartoon.
As stupid Africans.
Sorry, I'm stupid. I'm not able to understand. Please educate
when we are hit with a tragic event, we do hashtags and prayers. as if that will sort our problems.
We
should be a little bit
ladies
more
and gentlemen,
than
that is not an exclusive African problem. All over
we have
the
a
world,
problem.
hashtags and prayers are offered to those in peril. This is not.
Yeah, but I mean, will you continue
what 2M
being
is
hit by drought and all
attributing
manner?
to Africans?
You lose 600 people and it becomes normal news. You've been normalized deaths and tragedy and hunger and all manner of things.
We are so sorry for all the people that were affected by Cyclone Idai.
I'm very sorry as well. But we should do better. We should do better. We cannot always be saying that once a tragedy has hit, we start praying. I mean, didn't you know? Didn't you know drought was coming in the first place and people were dying in Turkana?
Prayer is in our DNA. That's what we do.
So we
in addition to other things, as Kevin is saying,
God helps those people that help themselves.
Okay, let's collect offering now. Thanks, Brother Kevin. So the winning headline, host.
Amen.
Can we agree that Gado today has our winning headline? This representation, it's punchy, it's representative of our country, it's effective, and it actually was humorous, regardless of what you think about it. Gado, 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 Gado. Gado has our winning headline.
Gado, I like you.
This is Winning Headlines. See you tomorrow.